We got how Counter-Strike solved FPS games. If you don't know who I am, my name is Kaiki Silva. I do reaction, gaming content, life stuff. Check out the YouTube channel if you like it. Leave a sub if you don't like it. Whatever, let's get into this. Saw this on my recommended. Popped up OBS, you guys know the deal. Boom, boom, boom. Let's see what we have in store.
Counter-Strike has shaped every tactical shooter since its release in 1998 as a mod for Half-Life. Nowadays, the most recent iteration of the franchise, Counter-Strike 2, breaks player...
Am I the only one that has never played Half-Life? Like, it's just this magical game I never played. Now, I started with the PS2. Okay, my cousin, he had the PS1, but I never really was able to sneak in his room and dabble in it. So my dad got me a PS2 when I was 6 years old then. First experiences I remember are GTA San Andreas, all that type of stuff. Half-Life, I don't think I've ever played that, man.
Records regularly and routinely shatters viewership records. So how did a mod from two college students shape every FPS game made in the last 25 years? The first thing anybody will notice when they play Counter-Strike for the first time are the relatively simple gameplay mechanics. There's no...
Yeah, simple? What are you on about? The first time I ever played this, I literally was about to blow my head open. Now, I'm used to Call of Duty, bro. I'm used to Call of Duty. Call of Duty, you got no recoil. No recoil at all. I was playing Search and Destroy, Ninja Defuse here and there. You know what I'm saying? And we would just shoot, Peacekeeper, BO2, beep, 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 just killing everybody, pub stomping, trick shotting. I was in a trick shotting clan. I hop into CS2. I can't hit a single fucking bullet. I can't hit a bullet to save my life. So I deleted the game. I looked up a video how to actually play CS. Learn that like you have to stand still in order to shoot. And then I got back into it, and now I'm like, I have like 35 hours. Now I'm getting the hang of it. You know, one tapping people with the AK, it feels so good. But overall, the gameplay feel, I get what you mean. Very simple. You just have a gun. There's no abilities. Boom, boom, boom.
Slide canceling. There's no second chances. There's no going invisible. And there's no Mozambique here. There isn't even any ADSing unless you have the AUG. Want to shoot? Can't move. You gotta stop, then spray. When you spray, the bullets don't follow the crosshair. They can go all over the place too, so you gotta pull down to offset that. Many think this is bad quality of life. We have two rules at the start.
Yeah, that recoil thing just, it fucks me up in a major way. I have to learn each and every single one. I try to spray, my bullets go to China, dude.
Concerning how you interface with the game. While every other FPS in the current landscape is rife with arguments about how the bullets should go this way instead of that way, this character's overpowered, my favorite character was good and now they're bad. Every FPS game has this intense, heated, passionate, back and forth kind of conversation about what the game should be like. Reddit threads, locked forums, deleted comments, and when it comes down to Counter-Strike, nobody really has a problem with it. Without limitations, without simplicity,
exactly.
Counter-Strike isn't Counter-Strike. These are deliberate design choices to limit variables and limit randomness, making the game more akin to a competitive sport. Before Counter-Strike started getting popular, just about every FPS game you played, at least the ones a part of the so-called boomer shooter era, gave, even encouraged, the ability to strafe, shoot, and whip around the map with big, pitch-perfect, accurate guns at light speed.
Exactly. This is Call of Duty, bro. You would jump around, hop around, do just hitting headshots over and over. I tried to do that in CS. Hell no.
We had arena multiplayer shooters, games like Quake, games like Unreal Tournament. This emphasizes mechanical talent, which is all well and good, but Counter-Strike emphasizes tactical talent, the little decision-making points you gotta go through when you go from point A to point B. It means when you're in the process of shooting, you're an easy target, so somebody can capitalize on that timing and take you down. It means there is a positioning advantage for staying in cover and reacting to the opponent as they aren't in cover. It provides an incentive for precise crosshair placement, deliberate, thoughtful, well-decided movement. When you're forced to stop moving, when you're forced to take into account that you will lose your aiming point as you fire from a distance, it makes the position you're in, the moment you decide to take an engagement, matter. It makes every engagement meaningful and rewards you when you pull it off.
That is very true. That is something that lacks in Call of Duty, for example. Or Rainbow Six Siege. Because Rainbow Six Siege, you have abilities or C4s. Like, in CS2, your primary way to get kills is direct gunfights. And I've noticed this firsthand. When I play competitive, bro, and I play against these Smurfs. I peek for 1 millisecond, boink, boink, I'm dead. I want to like punch my monitor because I don't have any time to react. And when I do have time to react, I just end up missing all my shots.
In short, you have to use not just your brain, not just your hands, but both.
But I'll get better. Trust me, I'll get better. And I'm already getting better. I'm already hitting doinks, like donk.
Every weapon in Counter-Strike is purpose-built with key advantages and disadvantages, but scoped weapons come with a number of downsides compared to their peers, especially the scoped rifles. You can't be as maneuverable with them, which makes you a sitting duck in a variety of engagements. However, if you want to hold a lawn quarter like the pixel angle on Palace or the lawn sightline on Abs, then the AUG's not a bad idea. Counter-Strike rewards you for picking the right tool for the right job, but also has fair punishments for trying to shoehorn things where they don't belong, or for overlooking the core mechanics of the game. One other thing Counter-Strike does a good job of is not overcomplicating the sheer amount of stuff you can use. In the modern FPS landscape, every game development company is scrambling head over heels to provide to the newly grown generation of iPad babies who have the attention span of an adult chicken.
The dream's alive, chickens. Come on, come on, come on, buddies. Yes. There we go. There we go. Yes. Oh my God, boys. Oh my God.
Counter-Strike has been this way for a pretty long time, and it's grown a more loyal.
That is true. Now, I grew up, I'm 21, okay? The first competitive game I really got into was Overwatch. I was like 13, 14. I hit top 500 on console. I'm not joking when I say this. And I was addicted to it because it was so complex. There was so much dopamine. There was so much stuff going on. It wasn't just a gun, normal shoot like Call of Duty. It added variables, so many variables to it, and my brain liked it. And, you know, other brains liked it too. That's why he became so popular. He has a point. CS is very, very down to earth in its core mechanics. And if you have the dopamine of a junkie, it might not be as, you know, you might quit the game like I did. But then you come back because I'm a competitive guy. And you learn that the game is actually so rewarding once you actually learn.
Passionate and involved fan base by just sticking to what it is and sticking to core values of its design. It doesn't need to keep adding crap because what it's already done is essentially the backbone of FPS game design as you know it. One aspect that Counter-Strike did before anybody else was combine the worlds of strategy and tactics seamlessly with the economy system. In this example, the T's have planted the bomb and are poised to try and get some rounds on the board despite their 9-1 disadvantage. Two remaining players, with an assured bomb detonation, go to the furthest corner of the map where they cannot be taken down from full HP by the bomb's detonation. It's important to stay alive despite winning the round because they have expensive rifles and they're dead broke. But the hero of our story is going to change that.
Position. Gambit is sending more firepower there. Bring more.
This is so smart.
Again, if you guys watch the video about Simple and what his real name is like, Alexander Oskalov, something like that. Look at this guy, Mikhail Stolarov. Bro, these guys, these Russians, Norwegians, whatever it may be, these guys are born to play CS. I just picture these guys in ski masks in real life. They just found a virtual reality of it.
Oh, this is huge. Doji's throwing a nade into the corner just as the bomb's going to go off. They're both going to go down.
Wait, what happened here?
Doji's throwing a Gambit is sending more firepower there. Bring more.
This is so smart.
Oh, this is huge. Doji's throwing a nade into the corner just as the bomb's going to go off. They're both going to go down. Get rained on. Doja with the dunk. That's so smart.
He knew he was there. He knew they were there. I'm telling you, these Russian kids are terrifying.
I've never seen that before. Just as the bomb goes off as well, takes them both down. Sure, he doesn't get the frags for it, but he denies them so much money going forward as well.
The craziest part about this nade is that Immortals did claw back a ton of rounds afterward, which means it had impact all the way to the very end. The economy isn't just a limitation, it's a metric that adds weight to every individual play you make in Counter-Strike. It makes everything you do have meaning. At the start of the game, everybody starts out with crappy handguns. Do really well that round, and you can buy submachine guns, which aren't quite as good as rifles that you can probably buy the round afterward. But they have their own tricky aspects to them. If somebody's red hot, they can get a one-shot killing sniper rifle with a powerful scope to ensure nobody is going to walk down a particular lane, giving a massive amount of map control. But only if you have a ton of money. You have to earn the right to use that powerful thing, and you can lose that powerful thing just as easily as you gained it. Money is earned for planting the bomb, defusing the bomb, winning rounds, getting picks, and a number of other things. But the rewards are all different. Powerful weapons cost more, but often earn you less money. Weaker weapons cost less and can get you more money. For instance, shotguns are useless at anything but point-blank range, but at the right place and right time, and with good aim, you can take down an AK player, get a rifle, and make $900, as opposed to the $300 you typically get. That powerful sniper rifle we just talked about, you only get $100 for a kill with it. So the most powerful weapon in the game is the most expensive. But in a perfect world,
Yeah, I mean, that's a disgusting way to use a shotgun. You hold an angle. You see, I'm kind of I'm a stereotypical guy, okay? I come from the old days where if you're camping, you're an absolute FAG. Okay, it's simple as that. And so I try to avoid camping, but in CS, there's no such thing as camping, only intelligence. If you hold a specific angle, if you hold a certain part of the map with the right gun, that is playing Counter-Strike. And, you know, I have to come to learn that. I have to come to terms with camping sometimes is good. You know, rushing in. I'm used to just rushing in. I just get my head chopped off. You know, the more I play patient, the more I play with the time, the better results I see in CS2. That's the thing I've learned about it.
doesn't snowball to an unwinnable degree. There's still an opportunity to bounce back. In Call of Duty, if somebody in your lobby is on a hot streak, the snowballing effect can cause that match to become even more unwinnable as they farm kill streaks. But this is not the case in Counter-Strike. To overcome the opponent with a sniper rifle, you can outsmart them. Throw a smoke grenade to counter the angle so that you can cross safely. Then jump while throwing it, and now this guy can't snipe you anymore. Want to prevent the enemy from pushing without exposing yourself? Throw a Molotov at this post and bounce it so that it cuts off the doorway. Want to make an aggressive push down this lane? Throw a flashbang and force the enemy to move their crosshair. You're rewarded for learning the game, learning unique and outside-the-box solutions to problems with the most basic components. You can almost say Counter-Strike was responsible for the building blocks of FPS utility. Everything revolves around smoke, flash, fire, and frag. Nades get the most amount of value in Counter-Strike when your team plays around them, incentivizing you to work together in a natural, sensible way. What benefits the team benefits you. In Counter-Strike, every benefit has a downside, and every downside can be overcome with skill. Take another example about weapon balancing. You can't run and shoot very well unless you're up close with an MP9 submachine gun. Then you can shoot while moving, but you gotta be up close, and you can still get one-shotted in the head. Every engagement, every decision you make, every upside, every punishment is fair.
Should I take the AK?
That's Counter-Strike. It's just fair. Like any sport.
Yeah, the most rewarding thing in Counter-Strike is actually co-working with your teammates, pushing a site, clearing angles with your teammates. It actually feels like you're inside a movie. Like, is it just me? When you have teammates that actually play together, you're using your mics, you know, kind of at the pro level, but in a low-level silver lobby. Right? And it is so rewarding. It feels so good pushing with teammates instead of just going solo.
Someone with raw talent can sometimes just brute force their way to a certain point of success. You can, in a perfect world, ignore all of this stuff and just shoot them. But not everybody's the GOAT of aiming, and even Lionel Messi got to where he is with good understanding of the game. You can shoot as much as you want, but ultimately, you gotta contextualize that the game is not just about shooting. If the game wasn't the classic 5v5 plant the bomb to win formula we've all come to know and love, not that many people would care. In fact, a lot of people didn't care. When Counter-Strike first dropped, most people would have scoffed at the very idea of making a game where if you died, you couldn't do anything for the next minute and a half. People would get bored and want to go do something else. But we get back to the point about limitations again. If the punishment for getting taken down in this game is that high, then that surely means that everything you do in this particular instance of gameplay has more meaning, right? It means let's rotate this site hit isn't working. It makes the act of planting.
That is such a good point. That is such a good point. And especially, the way this proves itself is we have TikTok addicted, I like to call them rabbits nowadays, where you're just scrolling, frying your dopamine receptors, right? And your attention span is the size of a goldfish. But somehow we're still able, and this applies to me, by the way. I've fallen victim to IG Reels TikTok. Everybody has, okay, in the modern world. And somehow, dying and staying dead for 2 minutes, right? It pisses you off, but you still want to play. You still want to get back in the next round. Why is that? Because when you die, you can examine why you died, and that has so much meaning. And you can manipulate those actions so much that it starts to give you so much meaning inside the game, and your improvement becomes the goal.
The bomb or defending the bomb site. Important, it forces you to play the objective, because you can win the game without having to take a shot, theoretically. Sure, you can overcomplicate it, ignore the gunfighting part, and then just get got because you're not shooting back, but that's kind of the little dance that is Counter-Strike. Everything in Counter-Strike happens for a reason, and makes moments like Olaf Meister's Flaming Angel bomb defuse become so much more impactful. Counter-Strike's competitive nature isn't just a casual matter of fact. It's a beloved and cherished aspect of its community and culture.
Still going. Oh, Olaf just about gets it as the flames come in, and look at the little dance of happiness. That is how to control your nerves.
Counter-Strike's culture has a certain kind of staying power that makes communities of other games seem a bit small, comparably. It makes them all seem like independent niches that may not be irrelevant, but don't have the kind of invisible ocean-like quality that football has versus something
What was that clip, bro?
like lacrosse. Unless you're from Massachusetts, and yeah, I guess lacrosse is a pretty big deal. Now remember, Counter-Strike is a competitive game after all, and frustrations can reach a boiling point, particularly when there's a communication issue.
Green, what's your problem, Green? What is your problem? Missile alone ramp. Missile alone ramp.
Instead of reprimanding this guy for his
Yo, why is the mic so loud, bro?
toxic and unsportsmanlike display that should very well not be condoned by any sensible or professionally upstanding citizen, they added a funny little sticker you could put on your gun. Instead of wagging their finger at people for being too mean in the game about military operators trying to prevent a thing from getting blown up, Valve leans into it and has some fun with it. Now, that doesn't mean you can be a complete and utter nitwit, but everybody gets a little heated once in a while, right? It's okay.
No! You went by yourself. Please, chicken coop. Chicken coop! Toots, where do you play? Have you ever played this map before?
That's Mo. His history with the game in a competitive sense goes back a long time, all the way back to Counter-Strike's source, again in the mid-2000s. And he's not the only guy to make a big living off of streaming the game after playing it professionally for some time. Before Summit 1G was known for his widely popular, laid-back, yet engaging streaming style, he was a professional player too, and also had a moment in Counter-Strike history immortalized in his name. If it can happen at the highest professional levels, it can happen to you.
Summit's gonna clutch it, and Splice will close out map number 1, 16.
Wait, Summit played CS?
Immortalized aging streaming style. He was a professional player too, and all.
No way, bro. Now, a couple videos ago, I learned that Shroud plays CS competitively. I thought he was a streamer. Somehow, some way, Summit is in that boat too. Who else is in this boat that I'm not aware of? Oh my god.
Also had a moment in Counter-Strike history
But it makes total sense.
immortalized in his name. If it can happen at the highest professional levels, it can happen to you.
Summit's gonna clutch it, and Splice will close out map number 1, 16-11. Oh, wait. What?
What happened?
Okay then.
No. What happened? Oh, no! Summit! No!
So, the point is, Counter-Strike is an intense game, and that makes for some intense, if not funny moments, too. Every moment feels personal and real. To that point, Counter-Strike has a lot of viral moments that make you laugh. It also has a lot of viral moments that make you astonished. And at a certain point, just like any traditional sport, we can't fit all of them in one video. But if you navigate some of the maps in-game, you can see tributes to many of these moments. Counter-Strike is more than a game. It's a shared life. And Valve deserves a lot of credit for fostering the game's esports component and culture shaping.
Actually, into the side, he's gonna fall down again. What is this touch from Simple? Are you serious? What is that? You can't do that, Simple. That's not allowed. This is not FPL. This is
Alexander Kostelev. Oleg with the O. Xander, not even an E or A at the end. That's what I'm talking about. Only he can do a double no scope to clutch it up. You can't do that. Did you hear the announcer?
the major.
Counter-Strike popularized the bomb defusal mode to entire generations of gamers, so much so to the point that you can definitely
Yeah, I thought Search and Destroy was a Call of Duty thing. I never knew it was Counter-Strike originated.
Definitely assume Call of Duty devs played Counter-Strike themselves and didn't mind copy-pasting it into the game under the name Search and Destroy. Esports is a contentious topic in just about every FPS community right now, and it's often blamed for a corporate greed-based fixation on balance over fun. But this isn't really the case in Counter-Strike. Getting mad at the esports component in Counter-Strike is kind of like getting mad at the green component of trees, or the water component of the ocean. In a little country you may have heard of, is a big sport you may have heard of called soccer. Sorry. Denmark has more than 1,600 football clubs and 300,000 registered players. Kids, teenagers, and adults of every walk of life participate. It's no surprise then that one of the most decorated Counter-Strike teams of all time would be Astralis, carrying over that tradition of team-oriented, role-based sporting culture. Counter-Strike is a lot like football. When you're playing with your buddies, it's all well and good to have everybody run around and try to kick the ball as much as you can. Kind of like when you play matchmaking with your friends, everyone just kind of runs around and shoots. Somebody as much as you can.
Dude, what a G this guy is. What is he's pushing like what, 60? He's probably pushing 70. Like this is me when I grew up. I want to own an esports team. Like, come on. This guy must be so happy compared to the CEO of McDonald's, the CEO of Wendy's.
Kind of like when you play matchmaking with your friends, everyone just kind of runs around and shoots. Somebody's got to be the goalkeeper though, and that's probably going to be the person sitting still with the op. But then to make things more efficient, you'll want to apply a system. You'll want to appoint a central midfielder to make scoring opportunities and keep up the tempo, akin to your entry fragger who leads the charge down A lawn, opening up the site for the team. You want to have someone in the back to disrupt the other team's defense, like a dedicated flank watch. As we move to the professional level, roles and strategies become more defined, using numbers to assign key positions. 3 on A, 2 on B. A simple call you might do in competitive matchmaking, but a staple in professional play. While this arrangement isn't as complex as organizing 10 football players into a 4-4-2 formation, the general concept of strategic role assignment remains the same. And just as in football, different players have different strengths and weaknesses, a concept that becomes clear with more game observation. This demonstrates a fascinating example of...
Yeah, and this brings up a point that I wanted to bring up. It's esports are the perfect outlet, perfect proxy for insanely competitive people who are not, let's say, physically gifted or are not given the opportunity to make it into the big leagues, even if they could, because of certain reasons, societal reasons, or certain economic reasons. It gives them the perfect outlet, the perfect proxy to channel that competitive drive that every competitive person has. And this is only going to get bigger. You see esports is just growing by the day, by the day, by the day. You see these numbers on these esports finals. It's insane. And I feel like it's only going to get bigger with newer generations coming up. But, you know, obviously real sports, that's always going to be there. But esports will definitely maybe get even on that same equal level of you know, watch time or viewership. I think this is where we're headed.
How the methodology and analytical aspects of traditional sports apply to Counter-Strike, and how Counter-Strike, in turn, influenced all your favorite FPS games. The 5-man concept of entry frag, second entry, flex, and defender, or any variation thereof, started with Counter-Strike. Every 5v5 plant the bomb to win game you've ever seen follows a similar structure. An aggressive player taking the lead, someone watching their back, and another holding a more defensive stance, maintaining balance between these approaches. And much like football, the school of tactics and strategy is consistently evolving, with different parts of the world becoming famous for their own particular styles of play. North American footballers are known for individual athleticism and physical strength, kind of like how American Counter-Strike players...
Yeah, that's never going away. The pure passion, the pure joy of scoring a football. I played football when I was younger, played soccer when I was younger, played basketball when I was younger. I used to make these ridiculous hook shots on basketballs. My friend would literally die laughing. My friends would literally die laughing because, like, it was the most impossible shot, and I would just make it every time. It was like this hook shot. It was mathematically incorrect. It was an incorrect way to shoot the basketball. I just did it. Football. Oh my God, I just love football so much, dude. Football is my favorite sport ever. Tackling people, that physical aggression. And so, yeah, esports, they may come close to viewership of real sports, but real sports will always dominate in that physical aspect and that mental aspect. But I don't know. It's close. It's close. I don't. You can't say for sure.
Are noted for their individuality and independent mechanical playmaking skills. Whereas in Europe, teams are known for tactical discipline, strong team organization, and defensive posturing. If there's a team that's well known for its strategic breadth in CS, comparably so, it's definitely the Danish team Astralis. They are widely responsible for popularizing the game as a chess game with guns, continuing a rich tradition of sports strategy that prizes intellect and planning to achieve victory. Astralis dominated and revolutionized Counter-Strike with a strategic lever placed on grenades and utility. Their expert-level grenade play has helped cement a community culture that prioritizes thoughtfulness. Grenades can be used to take control of the map without exposing yourself to direct gunfights. Here they do just that for banana control, that acts like a major highway between the middle of the map and the B bomb site before the enemy can set foot inside of it. In the event the enemy team makes an aggressive push, Astralis uses flash grenades for their teammates to blind the enemy and give a fighting chance to hold the position. Nades in Counter-Strike are distinguished by the fact that you have to toss them like you would in reality, like a baseball. It's a big difference between Counter-Strike and other games that compete with it. In many FPS games, characters are often given an aura of superpower and can call in giant lasers from the sky, which is cool, but once again, the simplicity is the point of Counter-Strike. This mechanical design contributed to a sort of arms race in the game over how to smoke off a particular kind of window for snipers. It looks like a simple action, but every detail matters. Independently, different teams came up with different ways to hit the smoke with various trade-offs. The smoke was first done while running, which adds a margin of error to the toss, because the smoke can't be thrown too quickly or too late. Another smoke can be done a bit further up one side of the map that doesn't require a running start. There were tons of different ways teams tried to optimize this one smoke position over the course of years, going so far as to implement console scripts that allowed for jumping and throwing motions to be done with razor-thin precise timing. Just the smallest of deviations ended up making the smoke just a tiny bit better. Crouching and moving, running to the side, and jumping all essentially turned the Mirage window smoke into a community-ran physics problem. And all of this happened because you have to toss the smoke grenade manually by making something just a bit more difficult to do. It makes each tweak and successful implementation of the tactic feel meaningful. And the craziest part was, a lot of this development happened completely naturally within the pro scene and the game's average population. The esports component isn't a separate walled-off thing. It's a backbone of the collective culture of Counter-Strike, where every brilliant display is immortalized and celebrated.
Comes once again. The first base is Adren. He's going to hit the ground there as Cold. What? A jumping double from Cold! What is going on right now?
Oh my god. Collat no scope?
How does he do this? Cold has saved Luminosity with the AWP play. Unthinkable scenes there on the B apartments. They needed a huge play.
Counter-Strike is about as old as the internet, and it shows in its enduring popularity and long-standing community. Its simple yet deep game mechanics and vibrant esports scene both stand tall for all to see. Many have tried to emulate it, but none of them can do it quite like the king. Let us know your favorite Counter-Strike moment in the comments down below. From us at Couch Co-op, thanks for watching.
What a vid, ladies and gentlemen. What a video, what a video. You know what? I'll give CS its props, you know. Will I say it solved the FPS games? That's still in question, because you know, another developer may come tomorrow even and just absolutely bless us with the best FPS game ever made. You know, we never know. But for right now, yeah, it might have the throne. It might just have the throne, and you know, it might be the backbone of all FPS games that we know today. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this. If you enjoyed, if you want me to react to more videos like these, let me know. If you have any recommendations, let me know. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.